to welcome you to the 2023 Toyota AFL Finals Series and today's second elimination final between St Kilda and the GWS Giants. The AFL acknowledges the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners on the land on which we gather today, and pay our respects to elders both past and present. We acknowledge we play our great game on this land and respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation and their contribution to the game of Australian rules football. If you are able, would you now please rise and stand with the coaches, players and umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by Sandra Chiavello.
Magnificent again for the third time in a row. This final series has got something about it, gentlemen. Cal Wilkie, we mentioned. What a pickup he's been from the St Kilda Footy Club, part of the leadership group, but all Australia now. He's playing footy. He was an accountant over in Adelaide, playing for South Adelaide, and now he's playing on the MCG on the final.
Good guest on the couch. He's come a long way. He's versatile as well, Gaz. So, yeah, you can play on Toby Green. You can also play on the big boppers in a Jesse Hogan, those types well. Look at his last month, been fantastic, his matchups, especially that one in round 21. So Charlie Curnow, that's tough, but they're all quality opponents, clearly all Australian calibre players.
Yeah, and when we sat down to select him as an All-Australian, it was those numbers that stood out. He's very good intercept mark, he uses it well, but more importantly, he beats his opponent week after week.
So we're going to toss the coin on and get your big days for, but the bottom line is, can you see the Giants kicking 12 to 14 goals to win this against the St Kilda defence? That's what's going to boil down to. It's not going to be a shootout, so can they get the 12 to 14 goals?
Well, they've averaged 102 points in the last 5 games. Now, the Essendon game is a little bit skewed because of the heavy nature in which they won. So they've got scoring power. We saw that against Carlton in round 24. When they get on a run and they can use that turnover game to their maximum ability, but they can be really dangerous. But they've got to be careful because you've got to understand the strengths of St Kilda are their defence. I like St Kilda's jumpers just as a bit of a real tough and ready and hard, old school. 11 goals and 9 goals have won the last 2 finals, guys, so it might not need 14. It might be 11 or 12.
12
and with 2 good defences, that's probably more likely than not.
I don't reckon the Giants are going to die wondering. I mean, that's the thing about this. They're going to rip, tear and bust. They're going to take it on. They're going to be prepared to run and carry and come through the middle of the ground. So it is a classic setup. A quarter time, we'll sit back here at this desk and get an indication of which way this game's going.
Well, they've basically played 2 elimination finals to finish off the season to qualify. So they've been in this position where the end result means that their season is either over or they progress.
The other thing we're going to look for too, and this is where Toby Green comes into his own, this is a final. The hardness, the little bit of nastiness that's available and comes in. We saw it on Thursday night. We saw it again last night, and we're going to be on show tonight, and he will lead the way.
Well, and it's early in the game as well, guys. You need to establish. That's helped establish scoreboard leads for both Carlton and Collingwood are the two nights. So contest early, contest and clearance, and hit the scoreboard.
Righto, big afternoons. Let's have a go. Who's it going to be a big afternoon for, Geordie? Kick us off.
I think Bradley Hill, he's the one player. He's got 14 games of finals experience. He loves the wide open spaces of the MCG, so he's that link player. I think he's going to have a hell of a game.
Bucks?
For me, it's his likely opponent, Lachie Whitfield. I think he's run off the back and been excellent. We looked at the Sinclair-Daniels potential matchup. This one here would prove to be a showstopper.
Brownie?
For me, it's St Kilda midfield. If anyone, they need Jack Steele, their captain, to stand up. They need to stand up as a midfield group for them to be any chance. What about you, Gaz?
This bloke, Tom Green, is made for finals. I think he's an out-and-out superstar, and he'll come off with the best three players on the ground, I reckon.
Jack Steele might just push into him.
Well, let's have a look as they head out. We're going to find out where they go. We've got Sam Taylor wandering down here, the superstar defender. He's going to go to King, you'd reckon, straight off. Jack Buckley down. Try and keep an eye on Toby Green at the other end of the ground, boys. Who's going to get the big job there?
Himmelberg will go to Owens in the goal square.
Green's gone to the goal square at the other end, and Wilkie's picked him up for now.
Looking forward to see Callum Ward go at it as well. He's on Jack Steele in the middle.
No tomorrow. Looking forward to this one in a big way. Bouncing the ball. See you quarter time.
Marshall goes in the ruck against Briggs and wins the first possession as well. Bounces it inside 50. Ash gets the first touch for GWS. Back towards the middle. Daniels flew high, but Marshall gets another early touch. Pumps it deeper this time inside 50. Big pack of players. And coming down in the middle of that pack and taking the grab is Cooper Sharman. The Saints quick starters.
Right out here, boys.
GWS slow starters, and an opportunity here for St Kilda to grab the early initiative.
Terrific mark from Sharman, just going with the flight there, exposing his body, and really good by Marshall. 2 entries into the forward 50 early.
13-4 for the season, 13-2 of those from set shots. Perfect start for the Saints. St Kilda in their first MCG final since the 2010 Grand Final replay. Could not get off to a better start. Cooper Sharman with a goal in the opening minute of his first AFL final.
Well, perfect start for the Saints. Not just for landing the first blow, but Sharman started on Lachie Whitfield, who we know is a real offensive threat on the rebound for the Giants. So for him to get one the other way, flying in, taking a big mark, is a big win for that matchup and the psychology that now plays out there.
Big contested mark, Cooper Sharman. Some courage back to the flight row. Marshall, an outstanding season in the ruck. Head-to-head with Briggs, it's going to be thrown up. Marshall and out muscles Briggs, scooping him. Tom Green. Crouch appeared to be taken high. Umpire was not buying it. Whitfield. Beautiful looking kick. It was just an awkward one for Riccardi, trying to shrug the tackle back down there. Josh Battle, and now it's going to spill out. Here he is. Toby, the All-Australian captain, kicks there first. Of course he did. Purpose-built for the big stage. Had 60 goals coming into this final. Toby Green, 60-31 in fact, and he kicks the first for the Giants. Going to be hard to stop, isn't he?
Is he ever? He always is, let alone when he gets a hot start like that. We saw the impact of Whitfield there. That's what he's there to do, get up high and use the ball off the back.
Just watch Toby, just drifting up. He's got the Wilkie matchup. He just goes up the ground a little bit. One of his underrated attributes that he's got is so intelligent, and he just reads the play so well as a forward. Just lost Wilkie in the general play and so deadly around goal.
Goal apiece after 90 seconds in the elimination final. Marshall, another touch. Ross bounces it towards Brad Hill. One-on-one with Callaghan. Hill looks to shake his man, can't quite, so he has to release the handball. Gresham come across. Lays the tackle on Whitfield.
Go through, mate.
Thanks, Locke. Thank you. Release.
Rowan Marshall already with 3 touches.
Ruck. Here, Kieran, Rowan.
Goes in the ruck against Briggs. Whitfield tracks it back. Runs into Owens. Handball gets past Himmelberg. Ross tries to soccer it on. Sharman does a bit further. Here's Taylor. Buckley. And now Perryman. Can kick to a one-on-one on the Shane Warne wing. Well done, Webster. Got a fist in. Quickest to recover was Lloyd. Off to Cumming. Cumming kicks towards half forward. Working his way to the front was Whitfield. Slapped away there by Hill. Tidied up by Sinclair. A slight fumble, but he's got some time. And support. Crouch. Hill. Looking for an option to the wing. Sharman will fly here again.
Cooper Sharman, contested mark number 2. He goes through the corridor. Set a bit of a challenge for Jack Steele. Now a red-hot footy to be won through the corridor. Rowan Marshall started beautifully. Here's Jack Higgins. Cleverly tried to just protect some space in front of him. Wood, well tackled. It's a red-hot final, as you expected. Was that a throw from Cumming? Saints fans thought yes. Umpire says play on. Caminiti, the late inclusion. Bouncing towards the goal line. Taylor, Max King. Sam had a fresh air swing, but he got away with it, Joe.
And that Sharman match-up with Whitfield is really important. He's got to keep flying for the marks because Whitfield won't go with him in the air. That's how they're going to get that advantage. He's got to keep presenting and getting involved when the ball's in the air. Whitfield has to honour him eventually.
4 of the first 5 inside 50s going the way of the Saints. Whitfield long to the outer side. Hogan his target. Well done, Green. Takes some territory down the line. Pitches, turns, throw in.
Because the Saints are playing someone defensively on Whitfield, who's their best rebounding half-back, means that they've got Sinclair and Wanganeen-Milera, who have got more leg rope themselves to be able to generate off half-back.
Steve Cornelio, the late out with an eye injury. Tim Membry withdrawn this morning, replaced by Anthony Caminiti.
We saw the damage that Whitfield can do with the first Toby Green goal. He was the one that got the handball received flying through. They want to play through him. That's why Sharman's there.
St Kilda free kick for high contact. It's going the way of the skipper, Jack Steele.
And on that stoppage, Sharman's right next to Whitfield and Sinclair is by himself. The philosophies are for the two different teams.
Mason Wood launching a long bomb towards the forward 50. Himmelberg back there coming. Couldn't keep it in. Electric start to this final. Ross has been here 21 times coaching in a final, and he looks pretty relaxed at the moment. Just getting a read on the way the structures are unfolding. Marshall already having an impact, picked up by Kelly. Bouncing ball, leading at it, Jesse Hogan. Wonderful season Jesse's had. Good overlap run from Kelly, who started it all inside 50. Wanganeen-Milera from the side. Riccardi has been infringed. I think advantage is going to be paid. Lloyd's going to run in and miss.
Hill with a quick restart. Wanganeen-Milera, one of the 10 Saints out there today playing in his first final. Josh Battle playing in his second. Now to Higgins.
This is how the Saints want to play. They're happy to find the uncontested mark.
Sinclair. Caminiti works towards the pocket and gets it. Beautifully weighted kick. He floats over the top, takes the grab right on 50. Chips towards the top of the square. And Rowan Marshall is off to a flyer. 5th touch coming up. A chance to kick St Kilda's second goal. Great confidence booster for Anthony Caminiti. And there's the hold on Marshall at the back. What a start from the big man. having a real influence. And now he hits the scoreboard as well.
It's going to be a really important role he plays today, particularly with Membry out of this St Kilda side. Not just what he does around the stoppages, but to be able to be a representative for those long kicks down the line and pushing forward just like that to support Max King.
Just have a look at Sinclair here. St Kilda have said to the Giants, we're going to put a defensive forward on your best halfback flanker. The Giants have said, no, we're going to let Sinclair run free. That's what I'd be worried about if I'm the Giants. Sinclair's ability and what he does with the footy when he's forward of centre.
What a start from Rowan Marshall in this final. He's laid the challenge down to Briggs. That's a nice win from Briggs, though. Sends the Giants deep into attack. Jesse Hogan, wonderful one-on-one contested mark, sliding in, gets some support, putting the head down and looking to draw the free kick, but won't be there for Cal Ward.
And Joe, just on your point about Jack Sinclair, I reckon it's Brent Daniels now who's going to try and make him defend him, but also put some accountability into Sinclair, not let him get that run and rebound that he's so good at.
We saw how smart he was there. The Giants had squeezed up to try and deny uncontested marks, so he popped out into the space that they'd left behind him. He's clever and clean.
Marshall again just out-muscled Briggs on that occasion. Ash juggled, pick up, got it okay to Kelly. Cumming tried a little clever knock on, but Saints fans, they're here, they're pumped, and they're happy with their start.
And they've denied the Giants any clear, easy footy. The Giants haven't taken a mark in the first 10 minutes of the game. Saints will be thrilled defensively with what that is meaning for them. They're just putting real heat every time the Giants have got the ball.
The Saints with 4 contested marks and 4 uncontested. They've controlled the skies and been able to chip it around the way they like. Green flips it back to Kelly. Inside 50, off the hands of Sinclair. Webster under pressure. Gathers it on the deck, does well, gets it to Wood. He bounces it outside 50, tough one for Crouch. He's taken down. Clark wrapped up in a tackle by Lloyd.
Go, please.
Briggs got the tap. Daniels, Clark, wrapped up by Kieran Briggs and marched to the line. Ball spills to the front. Marshall, almost another touch. Well done, Clark. Clean hands. Handball missed Gresham. Past Himmelberg. First onto it was Green. Pressure on Ash. Out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, pressure's the right word. They're just closing space really quickly, St Kilda. Very even early on. You can feel the pressure from the box here. Both teams, enormous heat on the football.
Long high kick down the line, launching out at Caminiti. Tim Membry, the laid out, and Anthony Caminiti having an impact. The kick down the line, they're going to pay it, I think, off the boot of Jack Steele. Insufficient attempt to keep the footy in. This is Connor Iden. Again, not a lot of options through the corridor. The Saints are so good at setting up defensively behind the ball. And Mason Wood, delisted from the Kangaroos a couple of years back. Here's the back-to-back All-Australian Sinclair. Max King kept his feet beautifully. Spinning move was good. Back to Sinclair. Got past a Daniels tackle. Dumps it to the goal square. Defensive spoil was timely. O'Halloran, the late in for Cornelio, has drawn a free kick. Xavier O'Halloran will be able to just release the pressure here momentarily for the Giants.
He switches on the bounce. Awkward moment for Iden. Handled it okay, despite King closing him down. Himmelberg now to Cumming. First mark of the game for GWS. And there's the second. Straight down the line to Lloyd. His kick misses Callaghan. Green there to tidy up. Cumming, they turn it over. St Kilda get a high turnover in the middle of the ground. Steele. Wood. Floats a handball. Battle towards half forward. Taking front spot was Iden off his shins. Did well to not let it get behind him. And Buckley immediately tackled and taken down. 65 from the St Kilda goal.
Well, there's their game style, St Kilda. You could see the wings, Wood, their high half forwards all back behind the ball defending, and then when they won it back, they had to slow down and use the numbers around the footy because they didn't have forwards out ahead.
Keith and Caminiti on the back-up ruck work in that contest. Hunter Clark, awkward footy to handle for Buckley. Gresham was pile-driven in a tackle. Clever handball back from Steele. Mason Wood, his Gresham picked it up cleanly, immediately tackled by Buckley.
So it was an example of their profile there. They're so hard to score against defensively, but they're not going to kick a big bag of goals today.
Adam Kingsley, first final in his first season, choosing the coach from ground level. Mason Wood dumps it. Long Iden's got his name over it, takes the mark strongly.
And they work it round the outer side. Callaghan to a 2-on-2. Hogan got to the front, got it to ground. Deft tap from Keefe was clever to Daniels. Sold Ash into all sorts of trouble. Higgins forces the turnover. Owens, quick hands from Filippo. Broken up by Daniels, who then committed the body. Umpire said took the legs and killed a free kick.
And both teams playing with a spare behind the ball at the moment, which means that they're going to have to change the angle in which the ball's coming in.
Bedford almost got to Cordy. Well-timed defensive spoil by Perryman, just takes it off the chest of Max King.
Giants have tried to do it a couple of times and just been inaccurate with their ability to do it. They should persevere with it. They're going to have to change the direction in which the ball is entering their forward 50. If they play down the line, St Kilda will just swallow it up and nullify any forward attacks.
Keefe versus Caminiti. Kelly immediately tackled by Gresham. Ash, Tom Green on the bounce towards Callum Brown. What an athletic matchup that is. Brown versus Wanganeen-Milera. Kick down the line from Green. Well read by Cordy. He's got 4 options on the inside at 45. One of them is Wanganeen-Milera. He'll square it up into the corridor. Open up the 50. Space for Clark. He'll attack the goal square. King over the top, not quite. It's still there on the deck. They've got numbers. Himmelberg, Iden, Perryman, and they escape.
Isaac Cumming, the next link in the chain to Lockie Ash. Finn Callaghan wants the footy with the chase from Butler. They link up well here, though, the Giants. Daniels the target. It was a beautiful kick. Landed perfectly for him. Webster a bit late on the scene. Daniels has got an option deep in the pocket. It's not a great kick for Riccardi. He's tried to keep it in. It came off the boot of Crouch and out of bounds on the full. So
this is what the Giants are going to have to do. St Kilda are sitting behind the ball. They're just going to have to run and carry, run at the Saints defenders, and then get the one-on-one opportunity further up the ground. But if they dump it quickly, they'll just be kicking into St Kilda numbers.
30 goals for the year, Jake Riccardi's. This sort of play doesn't need a lot of chances to have an impact. That was an ambitious attempt. Stays in the field of play, and Hogan marks it. Surrounded by opponents, Jesse Hogan.
Right out 10 metres.
He's got a habit of doing that, Jesse.
1 metre, Jesse.
Terrific
1 metre,
mark.
mate. Thank you, right there.
He's had a good season, Jesse Hogan. 42 goals coming into this one. He's been such a presence in their forward line with that contested marking ability.
Kicked 9 goals a couple of weeks back, Jesse Hogan. Acute angle, opens to face a goal, and Jesse Hogan kicks the Giants' second. Huge upside to get 43 goals out of Jesse Hogan. His PB back in 2018 was 47. He looks healthy and fit, and he's a dangerous opponent.
He's probably never enjoyed a season where he's had the continuity that he has this year, Jesse Hogan. And his football, he's reaping the benefits. Just a clever mark, used his body beautifully, and a great finish. Such an important part of this Giants forward line.
Another player has taken a long road to get here. 10th year in the system, his second final. And he ties it up at 2 goals apiece. Briggs. Ross tries to run onto it. Whitfield came across to put some pressure on, but Ross gets the possession. Bounces it towards half forward. Sharman. Well done, Whitfield. Left his man. Went hunting Butler. Handball past Buckley. He's got to turn around, needs some support. O'Halloran left it behind. Ward now under some pressure. St Kilda with numbers around it. Clark taken down, ball up.
They've settled better in the last 5 minutes, the Giants. Their secondary burst from contest was there. They were outnumbering quickly, and they're starting to work out how to move the ball better as well. We saw the run and carry that they showed before. That's their game plan.
Briggs tapped into the path of Kelly, who went off the ground. Windhager versus Lloyd. Well done, Lloyd. Bedford with the acceleration.
Downfield. Let him have it. Stand.
Green will have it. 60 from goal. He's got Riccardi and Brown as the deep marking options. Will head in that direction. Riccardi sets himself. Marshall gets across as third man up. Sinclair to tidy it up on the deck. Wanganeen-Milera needed to be quick. Didn't get enough on the handball. Coming now an opportunity. Well done, Hill. And Briggs forces him out.
Well, it's good play from both the ruckmen. Rowan Marshall burst hard, really, to get forward and help out. We see the Bedford free kick there late.
Got up a bit hobbled from that incident. He stayed out there. Maybe just got his legs stood on, I think.
Briggs and Marshall, they got a hit out of piece from that boundary throw-in. Kelly flicked the handle over top to Whitfield. Gresham mowed him down. Play on's the call. Appears to be moving okay. Bedford, can he get a favourable bounce? It stays to the near side, and that point gives the Giants the lead.
Play on.
Wood receives from Battle. Spears it straight through the hands of Butler. So this will work for O'Halloran at the back. Time to look up, assess the options, go for Bedford and find him 45 out.
That forward half turnover, that was an unforced one with Butler just dropping the mark. As soon as you're able to create that, you just have a look at the space in which you work on. Bedford's got 3 or 4 metres to work into. Great kick just off the line, and so hard to defend those turnovers.
Unorthodox build-up for Toby Bedford to his first final, with the suspension hanging over his head after the bump on Zach Fisher in the final round. He was cleared a couple of days ago. And he extends their lead to 7 points. Good start for Bedford, a nice settler for him. And it's the Giants with 6.5 to play in the opening term, up by 7.
Settled into this game well, the Giants. Starting to get their groove, starting to look more like their style of footy. Forward half turnovers. It's a really good finish by Bedford. Really important player to this GWS side. Creates real speed in that forward half, and we know how potent they are scoring off turnovers.
Giants having won 9 of 11 coming into this final. Got a lot of confidence in the way they play, and they know their style. Strong tackle from Ward. Ross, clever handball out to Crouch. Trying to find Max King-Taylor with a wrestle. It's going to be an intriguing matchup. Taylor with a strong tackle. Himmelberg, incorrect disposal. Brilliant forward pressure. Mitch Owens gets a shot on the back of it.
You love to see your big men participating at ground level. It was Max King originally, and then Mitch Owens just there. They have to be able to defend. You can't be a witch's hat as a big man when the ball hits the ground.
Third in the Rising Star voting behind the winner, Harry Sheasel and Will Ashcroft. Significant impact in his first year at St Kilda. Started a little narrow, not far off. Put it behind.
Right out. Thank you, mate. Wait for the call.
Whitfield takes the short option to Ash.
Outside 5. Play on.
Again, he'll look to the Shane Warne side, draws a man back to Whitfield, who kept running.
Stand.
And now Ward.
Play on.
Ash.
Yours.
He provides the run this time. Nice build up from GWS.
Stand.
Green
Stand. Play on.
takes the 45. Ash involved again.
Their defenders get so high. This is how they want to play. Run and carry, find the free, get everyone involved.
Ash. They'll contest 15 out over the head of Riccardi. They've got some numbers at the front, but Keefe's handball went straight to Wood. Marshall off the back foot, gets some distance, tries to clear the zone. Almost for Ross, controlled it on the deck. Now Steele. Ross has to hold up, wait for an option. Wilkie. Wood from behind. He'll go down the line. Puts it into some space here for Sharman. Taylor tracks across. And they're happy to find the line.
I feel like they've really settled into this game now, the Giants. Their style, how they want to play. They've got that confidence of moving the ball, taking the space, not just coughing it up when they get it because it's a final. Thinking their way through the game.
Briggs has done really well to wrestle his way back into the contest. Marshall was the best player on the ground in the first 10 minutes of the game. Toby Green to an open goal square. He liked it off the boot. Callum Brown cleverly back to Keith. He slipped through the tackle. Goal for Brown. It's the Jackie Chan special.
I believe it's a goal. Queen check if it was touched before the line.
Umpire scores a goal. Please check see if it was touched.
Review underway.
Just a little feather on that from the Irishman, Callum Brown. He was pretty confident.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, we can see the ball makes contact with the GWS attacker last before crossing the back of the goal line. Decision on scoreboard.
Boy from County Derry in Ireland, Category B signing back in 2017 and switch forward for Callum Brown has proved very beneficial for the Giants. He's a great athlete. We saw that on display just then.
Just watching this contest here, this is what Callum Wilkie's got to be careful of. He's trying to do the right thing, flies third man up, but that is his opponent. Sitting down at ground level, Toby Green, he gets the kick inside forward 50, and great scrambling goal there by Callum Brown. Just got his boot to that one, but Wilkie's got to be careful on his decisions.
So 3 goals in a row for the Giants, and they lead by 2. Clark tries to respond for St Kilda, back towards 50. Slapped away by Himmelberg, taken by Green. Off to Ash, now to Whitfield. Pops a handball and was taken down off the ball. Downfield free kick.
You can see them linking up. You've mentioned it a few times, Joe. Probably by design early, given the game's hot and you've got to respect the opposition pressure. And that's always dialed up in a final. They wanted to just take territory, now linking up a little bit more.
Callahan towards 50.
Nice kick.
Uncontested grab for Tom Green.
Beautifully weighted by Callahan. Just under pressure. A lot of numbers forward of the ball, and he just weighted it beautifully. Really intelligent kick.
Go with him, go with him.
A couple of teammates immediately telling him to take the shot. Man on the mark stands right on 50. Can he launch this 55? Doesn't try. Sets it up. Green in the middle of the pack. It's punched away. Daniels lurking at the front, taken down by Butler. Ball now in dispute, slapped forward by Steele. Owens puts his head down, wins the football, paddles it back to Butler. Kicks back towards the wing, but they've built the wall. This is Ash. He goes short.
Stand.
And finds Callahan.
Super exciting player, Finn Callahan. Perryman pops it up into the direction of Brown, but they're well set up back there, St Kilda. Cal Wilkie, all-Australian fullback. Incredible recruit he's been. Debuted in round 1 2019. Cal Wilkie hasn't missed a game since. 109 straight coming into this final. Long one down the line.
Holding.
Free kick is going the way of the Giants. Advantage is going to be paid. Callahan saw the outside target of Josh Kelly. Normally clever by foot, and he picked out Daniels. We'll go back and try and score from there.
And they've just set themselves up really well behind the ball. They're creating re-entries, getting turnovers, and then they're just sharing the ball. They run so powerfully in numbers. They're able to find the free because they're turning the ball over in really good spots.
Daniels kicks this goal. It'll be the Giants' biggest ever first quarter at the MCG. Good time to do it in the final, and Daniels has got it. That is now 4 unanswered goals the way of the GWS Giants. Brent Daniels, game number 80, has seized his moment.
Adam Kingsley would be really pleased with how the game's looking at the moment. They're forcing St Kilda to send numbers in to support their defence, and then the Giants are applying mass pressure, which is not allowing St Kilda to rebound the ball. It's feeding Giants' turnover game, and that goal just came off the back of pressure and repeat entries.
Steel panels to advantage, off to Marshall. Handball through traffic. Crouch takes a little bit of territory. Whitfield been productive in the opening term, spirals it inside 50, punched away by Wilkie. Sinclair couldn't find the boot. Green, Daniels, little chip kick. Kelly winds up from 50 and misses left.
Yeah, he's fought back really well, Lockie Whitfield. Sharman had a couple of early touches on him, but he's now up to 10 disposals himself, 7 kicks, which is the important part of his game, and 3 inside 50s off the half-back flank.
Aggressive kick through the corridor. Jimmy Webster, game 150. Can they get one here? It looks like the perfect build-up. Gresham, the next target down the line. The Saints are well stacked forward to 50. The big launch from Owens. Picks himself up. Sharman. Giants defending for their life back there. Higgins shoveled it back to Gresham. To Hunter Clark. Off the side of the boot. Sharman has taken it. And with 48 seconds and counting, a late goal here would be huge.
Well, they had to pull a rabbit out of the hat because they've been hemmed in to their defensive half, St Kilda. And they did by pulling that one back through the middle of the ground, a big mark to get the exit outside defensive 50.
Cooper Sharman got it a little narrow, and Job, as you said, it's a fascinating matchup, isn't it? Whitfield's going to do a lot of damage on the way out. If Sharman keeps kicking goals, then maybe the Giants have to think about it.
Just that forward entry there for St Kilda. They just needed to separate. They had the outnumber as the forwards. They just couldn't get away from each other's space, and eventually got kicked to the same spot and crowded. Allowed the Giants defender to defend 2 of them.
Himmelberg long and wide. Good strong grab from Rowan Marshall, who is playing some sort of game. Back inside 50. Offhand, still time for the Saints. Filippo. Higgins. Owens with nowhere to go. Crouch runs into Bedford. And the siren will beat the Saints. Good start from the Giants. The opening quarter of the elimination final is in the books. It's GWS 5-3-33. St Kilda 2-3-15.
On Fox, brought to you by McCain. And who else is going to kick the first goal for the GWS Giants and the All-Australian skipper Toby Green? That was after Sharman kicked the first for the Saints. Marshall responded, and then the next 4 goals were all GWS Giants. They lead by 18 points at quarter time. It got a bit ugly for the Saints in the back half of that quarter, boys. Scores for inside 50. This is the best defence in the competition coming in here, and right now 5 goals on the board is a very, very good result.
Absolutely, yeah, you're happy with that, certainly against St Kilda's defence. As said, St Kilda's pressure was enormous in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. The Giants couldn't get any marks in their game whatsoever, but then gradually they worked their way back into it.
The other thing that was evident real early in that game was the aerial power of St Kilda. So Sharman took a couple of contested marks early, and his matchup with Whitfield's been really interesting. I think Owens, Marshall got a free kick down forward. Caminetti took a contested mark, and early it looked like that was going to be a factor. But then GWS's run on the ground after those aerial contests started to really take toll.
Yeah, so it's ball in motion, but this was the first goal of the game, so we identified it earlier that was going to be the case. Sharman, the way you try and take Whitfield is to take him deep and challenging him from an aerial point of view. but then it flipped. After the first 10 minutes, when Whitfield went off, he came back on with a different mindset. So he and Ash out of the back half, their run, carry, handball receives. Ash has had 11, Whitfield has had 10. So that has been flipped. The forward pressure has been non-existent from St Kilda, but the run and carry that those two players are providing is starting to cause headaches.
For a team who backs themselves on defence, St Kilda have been a little sloppy. We've seen a couple of Max King there on the mark.
Shocking.
Just not strong enough and let Whitfield and Ash run through. And then a couple of times on St Kilda's front half turnovers, they haven't caught the high GWS defenders, and Bedford and Daniels both got goals from
Challenge. Daniels and Bedford. St Kilda's had more forward half turnovers, Gaz. The GWS kicked 3 of their 5 forward half. 3 of their 5 have come from forward half turnovers, so that's been outstanding. That's their MO. They're one of the best forward half teams in the competition. They've been able to establish that, and I think that's what brings the half backers up in the field. That brings Ash and Whitfield into really dangerous positions.
They've been slow starters, St Kilda. That hasn't been one of their strengths, but they need to get switched on defensively.
Well, when you're not a heavy scorer and you've given up 5 goals in the first quarter, their backs against the wall. Thought Tom Green was unbelievable in the middle of the ground. He just continues to enhance his reputation. It looked like a GWS Giants game in the last 20 minutes. Challenge over to St Kilda to get it back into that arm wrestle. A little bit of slow play and see if they can't just grind their way to that 18-point deficit. Right now, Giants in control. See you at half-time.
They take an 18-point lead into this second term. Briggs got over Marshall. Marshall outstanding in the first term. He had 10 disposals and a goal, Rowan Marshall. The numbers converge on it. Briggs is a really powerful unit. One clean possession there. Little fumble from Jesse Hogan. Had time to go back. The handball pops back out. Seb Ross spirals it down the line. Caminiti and Buckley. Incredible story, Jack Buckley.
That ball's got to come to ground if you're a Saints forward.
That one did, but fortunately for GWS, Kelly was there. Kick from Buckley, turned it over to Ross to go down and find the football on the ground. King was stripped of it. GWS get numbers to the contest. Taylor, Whitfield, Buckley almost slipped. Back to the wing, affected the kick. Sinclair didn't hang on as Hogan arrived. O'Halloran over the top. Daniels has got to run forward to the ball. It's Bedford. He decides to go inboard instead and finds Toby Green.
Well, the power of a big key forward. We see Toby just find the short here, but Sinclair was aware that Hogan was there behind him. He needs to take that intercept mark to stop the play moving forward. Giants are just really powerful at outnumber. We just see this here. He has a look. He knows Hogan's coming. He's got to hold that ball.
Giants really starting to carve them up by hand now, getting from congested, scrappy situations out to really damaging thrusts forward.
It's been a clinical finisher this year, Brent Daniels. That not his finest. Hits it off the instep. Misses the lot.
Seeing a lot of orange numbers around the ball. The Saints are more conscious of owning the outside, but because the Giants are so strong at handball and link, they're happy to be outnumbered further away from the contest because they'll back in their chain to be able to get through it.
Briggs with his big contested mark, fought back well. Looked like Rowan Marshall was going to get out of hand early, but Briggs playing his role for the Giants. Going to send them back inside forward 50. Hogan the deepest forward. Cordy drops another mark. It's a little bit nerve-wracking at the moment for the Saints defenders as Windhager sees it over. But Daisy, one of the strengths of Ross Lyon coach team, they can be outplayed for periods, but never feels like the scoreboard gets out of hand. It's still only 18 points.
Because they're so defensively sound and come back.
Briggs works to the front on Marshall. Tried to flip to the back. Steele was pushed off his kick. Crouch slides in. Daniels in there for company. Ball ricochets out.
They play with unconditional effort every single time they play. You'll never see a Ross Lyon coach team not play like that and really getting back hard to support their defence with that effort. So it's going to be hard for the Giants to score, but can St Kilda score enough to get themselves back in this game is the question.
Just can't get their hands on the football at the moment. They're the #1 disposal team in the competition. They like high possession style. They're being denied right now as Wilkie runs into Toby Green. Job, how do they get their hands on the football more?
Well, I think that they've got a few rungs to go up in terms of the competition. I think that they can compete harder in the air and on the ground, make it a little bit more scrappy.
Marshall's kick ricocheted. Kick from Cumming was touched and Bedford bundles Wanganeen-Milera over the line.
It always comes back to the contest, the work around the contest that you do. We've seen the influence of Briggs. Marshall needs to get back on top, start winning the clearances, giving their midfielders first use.
Briggs and Marshall continue. Briggs, the punch really straight onto the chest of Crouch. Quick kick's going to come straight back as Ash has built the wall.
And that's not where you want a blind kick going if you're St Kilda deep in your defence. You want to go boundary, not central like that.
Does he set himself and launch? Does he drop it short? Ash. Beautiful. The congestion was closer to goal, but that left the space open for Bedford to lead into.
Yeah, and just a couple of instances in this second quarter where they've just been a bit off St Kilda. They're not so sharp on their thinking, the intelligence, the situation, and playing it right out, which is not their style. They are an effort-based side.
Toby Bedford had to watch from the sidelines as Melbourne made a couple of finals runs. He gets his opportunity this afternoon from 50. Gives it a ride. Had the legs, but misses left. Umpire will confer.
Ball flew across the line. Score review. Umpire scores it behind. Please confirm it across the line. Right.
Away.
Clearly went over the line there.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, we can see the ball crosses the back of the behind line. Decision on scoreboard.
Wonder whether the goal umpire thought that the whistle was blown before the ball went over the line. He wasn't sure, he didn't see it, but it's an unusual one to call back.
That's what confronts Jack Sinclair. Saints desperately trying to get some movement, momentum going. He sticks it out in the Owens direction, gave a really good contest in the direction of Bradley Hill, but they aren't able to keep it in.
And they're just going to have to go back to work around the contest. And Rowan Marshall, he's a big sounding board. He's the instigator of the toughness, the physicality around the clearances. They need him to give first use.
Here he is again. Bounces back into the lap of Rowan Marshall. Fisted away from Gresham. Eyed and taken off it by Crouch. They're going to pay insufficient attempts, so the Saints will get the chance to load up here. Shane Warne, Stan Wing, they get long down the line. Max King trying to work his way into this game. It's been hard going for him, picked up by Ward. Tom Green sends it down the line. Wanganeen-Milera gets back. He's got Windhager. And now the captain, Jack Steele.
Spreads it wide. Crouch. Hill cruises by. Can he find a target inside 50? Sharman sets himself. King got a hand to it. Whitfield the crumb. Ward. Can he get past Ross? He cannot. Big moment for the Saints here.
Huge moment. Just an outstanding tackle by Ross and exactly what they needed. The Giants had had 14 of the last 18 inside 50 entries, and it looked like that was just going to bounce straight out. And they'd be swarmed again by the Orange Tsunami, but not on Seb Ross's watch.
No, it was a great tackle.
That's a momentum shifter, potentially.
St Kilda's most experienced player this afternoon, game 198. Can he lift his team? Launches it into the post.
Better to see that run and carry from Brad Hill. That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to change the depth in which the ball is coming because they're not getting any real wins from their forwards. Their forwards are struggling against the GWS back six.
Spot on. Both Sinclair and Hill only 7 disposals each. They need the ball in those guys' hands.
Giants are queued up on this MCC members wing side. Cal Wilkie set himself and took a really strong mark. Had his hands full with Toby Green early on. Puts it out in the direction of Caminiti. It was a good lead, but the defensive effort
And when the defenders are on top like they are, the Giants, that's why you need your really good ball users kicking into the forward line. We have a just overzealous from the Giants here. Giving away a free kick.
What he's trying to do. I pushed him. He came running into me.
Ball's out of bounds.
Exactly, he came running into me. Brett, you know exactly what he's trying to do.
Where'd the ball go?
The argument is if you knew exactly what he's trying to do, then don't do it.
Not
don't
a
give away
lot
the
in
free
it.
kick.
Not a lot in it.
Dad, on your line.
Saints need a momentum changer. Is this the
Watching
moment?
here, I'm
Finals
watching.
all about key moments. We've seen it across the weekend already. Dan Butler, 33-13 for the year. He's a sharpshooter. Critical kick for St Kilda. Doesn't quite get enough of it.
You feel the momentum shifting off the back of that Seb Ross tackle, but they've got to land one of these blows.
Yeah. Wait for the call.
Ash signalling for a bit of extra movement. He's going to come back out again to the same spot. Riccardi, Brown are the targets. Battle and Wilkie defending. Wilkie's managed to claim the mark. There's an opportunity for the centering kick to Gresham. That looks better from a St Kilda perspective. Gresham drives it. Max King's the target. Getting over the top. Caminiti has crashed into his own teammate. They're peppering, but just can't find a major. Kelly links up the hand. We wanted Perryman. Went back and got it. Tom Green flicks it out to Ward and back to Perryman. Here they go.
Callahan accelerates. Will deliver it inside 50. Hogan's got the set.
And that is the counter punch of the Giants. When that first tackle misses, you just see the Saints have just jumped into each other's space on numerous occasions, but then that tackle misses at half-forward flank for St Kilda, and away they go. They are powerful when they can link up like that.
Such a hard one. Caminiti would have been wound up, been told he has to compete and crash packs, and he does exactly that, but it's against a teammate.
For a run of 5 goals for GWS. Just sneaks it inside the post. Margin out to 23 points. After St Kilda led early 2-1, the Giants have rattled off 5 in a row.
And this is where it started. Perryman clean. You see their intent. They want to shape this ball back through the middle of the ground. Because they all run and get involved in offense, they've got teammates riding shotgun ready for the next handball in the chain. That's why they get the quality entry out the back to Hogan.
Margin 23 points, but feels like the next goal in this game is enormous. They're on a 5 consecutive goal streak. Here they come again, the Giants. Riccardi out the back. Wilkie picks it up, immediately set upon.
It's a spirit killer, that goal as well, with the momentum that St Kilda were just starting to build but unable to put any of their effort onto the scoreboard, and then Giants go to the other end and score.
Toby Green, centering kick. It's almost there.
Just wanted to ask you about Briggs. He's been incredibly influential. He's really getting on top in the ruck for the Giants.
What a great story this year, Joe. 4 years on the list without really making an impact, and you think Briggs hadn't played this way, their backup ruck is a concern for them. He's had a big year.
Maybe some run here for the Saints. Hill, Windhager, Webster forced to hold up, comes back onto his left boot, sizzles a kick to half forward. It's going to get cut off by Callahan, now Himmelberg. And Kelly can pump it back in the other direction. Hogan's got the front spot. Cordy arrived just in time, didn't infringe. Hill, uncertain of his options, draws the traffic, pops it to Ross. He bounce passes it down the line to Gresham, who flips it over the top. It's hard work for the Saints.
The Saints forwards aren't winning their one-on-one, so the way in which the Saints have got to move the ball is going to help them to win the forward. They've got to get the ball through the corridor, get their forwards out into space. Giants are too good one-on-one at the moment, and the Saints midfield aren't helping them by delivering the ball off the lines.
And Cordy looking just a little sore after that last contest. Callaghan bounces it down the line. Takes a left-hand turn. Umpire says throw it in. Lenny Hayes spent some time up at GWS as an assistant and development coach. St Kilda great back home at Moorabbin, as so many of them are.
What a player Lenny Hayes was, one of the all-time greats. St Kilda, as you said, Jace. Here's Bedford, the speed on offer. He took a bit of space. Riccardi, Wilkie drops one. Toby gets it back to Riccardi. And outside of the boot bender, Riccardi's got it. 6 unanswered goals for the Giants. All of a sudden, we're out to 30 points. It's a standing 8 count for St Kilda. Ross has got some work to do. The Saints fans are a little stunned.
Just watch the Wilkie-Toby Green match up here. Wilkie goes for the ball in the air, fumbles the mark. Toby, best spot, another score involvement. You don't mind Wilkie going for the ball, but if he goes and commits to the air, then he has to take the mark. He's playing on the most dangerous forward in the game. You're going to leave him. You want to be sure that you're going to influence.
16-6, the inside 50 since Jesse Hogan kicked that goal to make it 2 goals apiece at the 17-minute mark. Since then, GWS have rattled off 6 in a row.
Thank you. To me. Rowan, Kieran.
Marshall and Briggs neither get a touch. Ross slaps it to space, but Kelly first to run onto it. Bends it across his body inside 50. Awkward bounce for Wilkie. Lloyd now versus Winhager. O'Halloran arrives in support. Green versus Wilkie. Assesses the options. Inside, Lloyd kept his feet. Finds his boot, kicks another. Scintillating football from GWS. Ross Lyon with a perplexed look on his face. Exasperated. They trail by 6 goals.
Well, it's 8-3 inside 50s for the quarter, 7-2 clearances, and just watch it. Every time he gets the ball in his hands, something great is going to happen, which is why you're hoping to try and deny him any ball at all for Toby Green if you're a Saints supporter. Fantastic finish. The efficiency of the Giants going forward and their dominance in clearances are really putting the Saints to the sword.
Here they come again. GWS, Josh Kelly, that's disposal number 15. Brown run into by Wilkie. Wanganeen-Milera to Jimmy Webster. Skies that one, tracking the boundary line and happy to get it over Harry Perryman. Still only the halfway mark of this second term. There's some worried looks on St Kilda fans. You can see it's not unfolding the way they'd hope, but plenty of time left. Marshall, Briggs. This time Briggs with superior strength. Jack Sinclair. Can Seb Ross create something here? He wants the leading target, Caminiti. Buckley clever. Guided it back to Kelly, and then he squeezes a kick down the line. Wanganeen-Milera just can't get free. Whitfield manages to throw it out almost to Cal Ward, and the umpire a little delayed on the call, but it was there.
Yeah, someone's communicated with the umpire there. One of the other umpires has spotted that, which is a great teamwork because it was a clear throw from our angle, but he was blindsided. So good communication by the umpiring group.
I reckon about 50,000 St Kilda fans communicated with him, Lingy.
He certainly did, Jace.
Wanganeen-Milera, Wilkie, Webster. Saints need some time in possession and some meaningful chains as Clark goes looking for Sharman. It's slapped out cleverly. Briggs. Can Wood get across? Callaghan working, taken by Sharman, snaps to 50. Butler, can he work some magic? Owens goes to ground. Iden under pressure. Swooping in Perryman. Uses O'Halloran. And GWS win that little scrimmage. Awkward one for Sinclair. Lost it in the air. Found it on the ground, though, and finds Crouch. Steele. Look at the pressure from that surging GWS defence, just pressing up in their faces. And Webster can hold it up on the wing. Saints just need a bit of control here.
Called to play on Jimmy Webster. 150th game of AFL football. Crashing down off the footy was Marshall. Play on's the call. Brilliantly picked up from Iden, and Callaghan's got leg speed. Puts it out in front. Brown's quick as well. Wanganeen-Milera gives chase. Good contest this one. Nasai Wanganeen-Milera, but Brown stood up in the tackle. Leg speed forward to the footy, a factor for the Giants. Bedford looking for Hogan. Riccardi looked like it was out of bounds, but the boundary umpire couldn't have been in better shape, but eventually it is.
Bedford 8 disposals involved again there. He's the one that's helping to hurt St Kilda at stoppages. He's coming up as from the forward line and going to the body of a midfielder, which is freeing up one of the GWS mids, and that's what's giving them the ascendancy in there.
Saints just can't stop the play at the moment. GWS happy to have it in perpetual motion as Daniels just slaps it on to Hogan. Back to Daniels in the pocket. Fashions a little kick. It's brilliant. And it finds Josh Kelly.
And what the Giants give up by doing that is it's giving them St Kilda, Nasai Wanganeen-Milera off the back, but because the Giants are either using the ball so well and carving through them or just applying enough pressure.
And the influence of this man here, he's been huge for the Giants, just working so hard in this quarter around the ball, and we know they've got the leg speed, but they're working really well on the inside as well. Clever kick.
They're just keeping it moving. And they are careering towards a semi right now. Long way to go, but the margin out to 42 points.
Giants just work so hard, so clever, particularly in the ground level in this forward line. Unselfish, speed on the ball, whereas the Saints, every time it goes forward, it comes out really quickly and easily. The Giants have just been able to dominate those ground balls in their forward 50.
Remarkably, that is 8 unanswered goals the Giants' way. It's just not what you expect from this St Kilda team. Can they get one back here? Butler charging onto it. Iden, it was spilled out of his hands. Owens trying to fight his way into it. Ash and Green, they've just got all the answers. GWS, Perryman. Bedford's been impressive off his shins. At least they get a little reset here in their forward half, the Saints.
They've just not been able to generate or create any time in forward 50. It's just coming out too quickly, which means St Kilda can't set the ground up. They can't defend, and they're not being able to then score off turnovers. The Giants' back six have been extraordinary in their one-on-one contests.
St Kilda needs some kick mark football, but they just can't get any at the moment. Crouch, can they find a mark inside 50 this time? Sharman floats in. Well, he's been impressive in his first final, the youngster. Incredible story. Came down from Leeton Witten to go to university at Deakin, played some local footy at Balwyn, impressed. Rodney Eade recommended him to play NAB League. Suddenly he's on an AFL list. And St Kilda's great hope forward at the moment in a final. To kick his second and St Kilda's third. To try and get the crowd up and about. Boy, did they need that. They've had plenty of aerial presence in the forward line today with King and Sharman and Caminiti. Hasn't always been coordinated though, Joe. It's been a bit clunky at times, but Sharman's been impressive.
He has. He's had a good influence. They just haven't had enough contributors at the moment for them to be able to kick a sizable score. Just see the finish here. Really important goal. Been struggling to score, the Saints. This should give them some confidence. They just need better representation from their forward six in particular. Need the ball in there for longer, creating goals.
Sharman kicked the first goal of the final. Now he's got a couple. Toby goes into the midfield battle. Wins that contest against Riccardi. They'll have to eat away at this lead, the Saints, with another goal before half-time or two. Awkward landing back there for Riccardi. Now they swarm on St.Kilda. Woods handball was good. Wanganeen-Milera has got some running support from Higgins. Confronted by Himmelberg. Butler press pause for a moment. That'll find Max King. Best transition we've seen of the afternoon for the Saints. What a welcome sight it is to have the footy in Max King's hands. He's kicked 11 goals from his last 3 games. He's just kicked that one a little narrow.
They're going to have to continue to play that way. They're going to have to play with some speed. The link, change the angle in which the ball is entering, is when they're playing slow and down the line. The Giants are just too good one-on-one, too good at coming off their direct opponent.
Just behind the footy quickly, that was Isaac Cumming involved in that big collision. He's going to be under this ball as it's kicked long. He's going to try and stay out there, but very sore.
Thanks, Lingy off hands and out. So margin, Lingy at the moment, 35 points. Ross Lyon would still feel for all the time they've been outplayed. If they can pinch another goal or two here and head to half-time, it gives them something to hang the hat on.
Yeah, just finding that goal. That's why that miss from Max King is so big. But find another goal here. Just get some reward for the hard work. Get the players feeling good about the way they're playing in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Keep the margin manageable.
And just off this stoppage, Cal Ward's just hurt for the Giants. We know how tough he is. The doctor straight out to him. I think the umpire's just going to hold up to make sure he's not in any danger. He's going to slowly get to his feet, though.
He'll stay out there.
Saints need Butler and Higgins, those small forwards, to really get involved. They've got to get busy.
Sinclair trying to impose himself. Ross, Steele, important clearance for the Saints. They need at least a contest, if not a mark. They'll get the contest. It'll spill to the back. O'Halloran, Iden, Whitfield, and they spread. Keefe's down the line against Wilkie. Brown will take off. He's just so quick. Couldn't take it in the air. Coming the other way, battle. Now Wanganeen-Milera sells the dummy on Whitfield. Needs an option. Chips the kick. Awkward one. Gresham will arrive. It'll spill over the back. Butler couldn't take it cleanly. Well done, Green. His handball put Ash under a bit of pressure. Had support. It was Kelly. Green. Gresham comes at him again. Rolls the shoulders. Ash. St Kilda lifting their work rate here. Owens gives it off. Opportunity inside 50. King's got to stand and wait.
Keep your hands out and hit me. I understand.
Much better from the Saints forwards there. Pressure created turnover, created opportunity. We saw Gresham get involved a couple of times, but it was off the back of time in the forward 50. They created a turnover, which meant that they had numbers, and then they had a free Max King with an opportunity to take a mark. Much better pressure from the Saints forwards.
These are the moments in cutthroat finals. Max King, can he rise to the occasion? The St Kilda crowd rises to their feet. 29 points the margin once again, back to a manageable amount. And most importantly for the Saints, they've got a little bit of control and a little bit of momentum.
And if you were coaching St Kilda, you'd come in at halftime and you'd show the players that clip. That's how they're going to have to play. Give them the video evidence of the way in which they're going to win this game.
Well, they're going to work around the ball, and that's allowing them to keep more forwards ahead of it. But it was this kick from Gresham. You saw Sam Taylor standing off King about 5-10 metres inside of him. He was saying this is the place this kick's more likely to go. 95% of the time it'll land here. Well, Gresham hit the 5%. Had to be perfect to find King, and he did.
Huge moment from Max King. Can they get another inside forward 50? Their captain, Jack Steele, gets it to the edge of forward 50. There's Gresham sliding in. King providing a couple of leads. He's going to get a free kick. I think Sam Taylor's grabbed hold of him. It's going the way of the big forward from St Kilda.
Against you. No, you're on the mark. No, you're on the mark.
It's amazing what some pressure can do. Some repeat inside 50s. Defenders get nervous.
Game high margin was 42. This to bring it back to 23. We thought the Taylor-King matchup might be the most important of the game, and Max King kicks back-to-back goals for the Saints. Enormous. Stand up, young man, and he has done exactly that, Max King. He's going to have a shoulder reconstruction the moment the season's over. Playing with great courage. And he has put his side right back in the frame.
Well, getting it quickly out of the centre, and then we just see 6 of the last 7 inside 50s to the Saints. Max King converts 2 goals right before halftime.
Briggs the tap down to Green.
Giants. Release. Stand.
It's been a superb first half from GWS. They sit on a comfortable lead. A lot less comfortable than it was 5 minutes ago. Inside 50, Hogan, Whitfield. Umpire said duck against Ward, so play on the call. Hill and Bedford sweeping in Winhager. Coming, slick hands, Bedford into the path of Ward. Now Whitfield off the left towards Kelly. They've got 3 options here to share it. Well done, Wood. Attacked O'Halloran. Ball spills free. Keefe, Kelly on the left boot. Brings it back. And responds for GWS. Massive goal. Josh Kelly kicks his 2nd for the term. Margin back out to 29 points.
He's playing some game, Josh Kelly. 19 disposals, 8 score involvements and 2 massive goals. None bigger than that one. What a finish.
Daisy activated an 8-year contract extension in 2021, and that's why you paid the big bucks, Josh Kelly. Huge goal. The Saints fight back through Ross. Taylor and King. Owens comes into the picture. Sam Taylor, such a resolute defender. Ash runs away from Gresham.
And that's where you need a D1. Someone's got to go to the ball carrier if you're a St Kilda forward. You can't just wait. You've got to put heat on.
Brown goes short. So Lockie Ash, who's found an enormous amount of the footy. Disposal number 21 coming up.
Move it on. Play on.
Decides to just pound it long down the line. Wilkie, Webster, boundary throwing.
Final minute of what's been a gripping first half as Gil McLaughlin watches on. Margin at 29 points. St Kilda rallying in time on. GWS responding. Briggs down to the front. Steele couldn't take it. Gresham. Owens with a couple to beat in the air. St Kilda fans want a free kick. Ash. Whitfield rather. Buckley back to Whitfield. Pops a handball through the hands of Wood. And out with 34 seconds remaining in the first half.
Just wonder if it's time for St Kilda to put Sinclair in as a pure midfielder. He's still a half-back. He's up high and trying to get involved off the back, but he and Hill, 9 disposals for Bradley Hill and 12 Sinclair. I'd like to see them around the ball having a bit more of an influence.
Marshall front spot. O'Halloran just got there ahead of Steele. Gresham slips away from Daniels, steps inside Green and pumps a handball into space. Will it sit for Steele at will? Still time for the Saints. 20 seconds left in the half. Inside 50. Advantage. Hill turns, snaps and goals. They're going to confer, are they? No, just waiting on the all clear. They're going to have a conversation.
The goal, quick check, hit the post.
Review underway.
Opportunistic advantage. They had numbers forward.
No, clear gap between the ball and the post there as it's travelling past.
Goal umpires with an abundance
Review
of caution
complete.
as expected.
Looking at this angle, we can see there is no spike on edge as the ball passes the post. Decision on scoreboard.
All clear.
Margin back to 23 points. Well, it went from being a bit of an arm wrestle to someone lighting the fuse late in the second term, Daisy. It suddenly opened up and become a lot more free-flowing.
And just here, have a look at this contest. It's 4-on-1 and the free kick is against. Just didn't need to grab there at a crucial time. Higgins takes the advantage and then has the smarts to get the ball over to Hill, but the free kick just didn't need to give it away. Had all the numbers. Good finish.
St Kilda to kick 4 of the last 5 goals in this quarter, having conceded 8 consecutive. It was a remarkable effort, and they will go into half-time here with a renewed sense of confidence. There is the half-time siren.
Welcome to half-time here, brought to you by Matronics, and why would we be surprised? We've got another belter on our hands, although it did look halfway through that second quarter rather that GWS Giants had it in control. Game high 42-point margin, but they found a way. They found a way to kick 4 of the last 5 goals to St Kilda Footy Club, and they go in with a spark. 23 points. John Brown, Nathan Buckley, Jordan Lewis. A bit of a pattern in all 3 finals that we've seen so far. Teams have got out to 5-6 goal leads.
Have a big second half.
Only 27 tackles in the first half. Maybe they can dial up the pressure a little.
Kick 4 of the last 5. The Saints, they're coming. The Giants have been outstanding. We'll see at 3/4 time.
Marshall and Briggs continue their battle. Neither an effective tap. Steele goes to ground. Green over the top of him. Handball intercepted by Cumming. Daniels sweeps the handball to Kelly. Spins through Windhager. Hoisted high inside 50. And the tactical sub straight into the action. This is Liam Stocker.
Yeah, good grab under pressure. First touch in the game. That's a good one.
Oh, the next one was a little nervous. He showed a bit of it, but Wanganeen-Milera up to the challenge, out to Hill.
Hill played the first half on the wing. He started this quarter as a forward, and he'll come up as an extra one to try and help them link up and get a few more inside 50s.
See him flashing past Jack Steele there. He's one of the great runners in the game. Still Bradley Hill. Clever kick to Windhager.
Beautiful weighted kick from Steele.
And that's the link-up you're talking about, Daisy. They'll always try and get it in the hands of Hill. It'll bounce okay for Seb Ross. King's going to come at him. He honours the lead. Brilliant connection. Taylor's defensive effort. Supreme. Somehow managed to get it to ground. Gresham kicked to Sinclair, who's playing permanent midfield. Wood's going to launch from the side. Buckley finds the boundary line.
So Hill is now on Whitfield. Interesting in terms of the dynamic there. We know Whitfield likes to get off and create as well. Sharman's gone back to be more that traditional forward target.
A little bit of kick mark early in the third term for St Kilda, which is what they're looking for to control the football.
Well, they've got to win the game, so I like the move from the Saints coaching staff.
Marshall slaps it to the space at the back. Gresham sweeps onto it, feeds it out. Hill, left foot snap.
All clear.
You know he's going to be able to cover a lot of distance. He's going to get to a lot of contests. He's going to be able to link up, help them break the lines. Yes, it allows Whitfield to get off and he's going to get involved. But as we said, this is a final. Win or go home.
Stocker getting involved early. The tactical sub activated as Mason Wood miscues and spills it out of bounds on the full.
Outside 5.
Early days, but the changes that have been made have had an immediate impact.
Yep.
Lockie Whitfield, multiple best and fairest winner with the Giants. The only other multiple best and fairest winner is Josh Kelly, who's set this game alight. This is coming. Looking to go back to Whitfield. Butler did well, but Lockie Whitfield totally in control of his game. Ward taking the full rotation. You don't get through a Jack Steele tackle very often. So
That's better again, though, from the Saints. It's a forward half turnover, a forward half stoppage.
By saying no prior opportunity, hence the ball up. Briggs' kick just clears Wanganeen-Milera. Sinclair back onto it for the Saints. Windhager can pop a handball over the top. This kick better from Wood. Searching towards half forward. Well done, Taylor, up across the front.
That ball's got to come to ground. Fantastic from Taylor, but if you're a Saints supporter, you've got to get that ball to ground.
Kick from Taylor needed to be precise. Chop of the arms, free kick going to Ward. Now Perryman. Cordy sets himself. Hogan flies over the top. Sweeping onto the crumb was Kelly, taken down by Owens. Little Soccer will come back to Hill via hand. Awkward bounce. Attacking it was Ash. Couldn't quite control it though. Putting his head over the football was Butler. Wriggles free of the tackle. Off to Windhager. He'll punch it wide. And King will mark 80 from goal. Wheels and goes quickly. Sharman in from the side, one-handed. Himmelberg, a little toe poke. Ash, Kelly. And they can escape through Callaghan.
Takes a couple of bounces to Finn Callaghan, and clever user sums the game up well to Lockie Keith.
Yours.
Oh, he saw the target award, but he's turned it over, and now the opportunity here for St Kilda. Gresham to Hill. Giants have been able to get some numbers back pretty quickly, and Hill's put it in the path of Taylor. That's the one spot he didn't really want to go to. Himmelberg with a bit of a fumble. The Saints were able to put some pressure on, but the Sharman missed tackle could be costly. They load up again. Here's Marshall standing in the way. Stockers immediately impacted the game to Wilkie. Picked up by Mason Wood. Back to Rowan Marshall. Crasser kicked the Sharman direction. Fisted away from him. Picked up by Himmelberg. It's going to come back to Tom Green.
Smothered off his boot. Creates an opportunity. Bounce towards 50 for Owens. Goes back contest. Gets bowled over by Perryman. Off to Ash. He's run down in a tackle. Coming through Wanganeen-Milera. Butler puts the head down. Picks up the football.
Giants just need to keep their heads here. A couple of times they've tried to pull kicks back through the middle. They're the team with the 4-goal advantage, and they have to keep attacking the game, but not at every thrust. Pick the moments when they can just play the percentages.
Briggs to space. Windhager spins through Whitfield. Hands it off. The Crouch misses.
It's important from Windhager to get involved offensively. If he's got the Josh Kelly matchup, he has to get busy the other way. A couple of good touches for him, almost set that goal up there. There's no point just running around in someone's back pocket. The game's gone past that. You need to be able to get involved when you're around the ball as well.
Himmelberg.
Play on. You.
Happy to honour that little lead-up target.
Outside 5.
Lockie Ash.
Outside.
Leading disposal winner on the ground. Ash, disposal number 25 coming up.
Outside 5.
Whitfield, and this is a more patient Giants we're seeing here under some sustained pressure. The shark sign goes up. What does that mean, Daisy?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Stay out of the water, Dust.
I think it was a whale, actually. More of a killer whale.
That's an orca. Yeah.
Yes, fair enough. Here is
That
Kelly.
changes things.
It certainly does. Kelly to Jesse Hogan, who takes a big contested mark.
Could be a reference to Free Willy. Maybe let the ball go. Keep it moving.
Might be just outside of his range here, Jesse Hogan. Oh, Marshall. Good courage, strong mark from the big St Kilda ruckman.
On the full. Thanks.
Off to Wanganeen-Milera. And now to battle.
Outside 5.
Giant zone presses across. Saints have to pick their way through it. Marshall calls for it, but he's in the corridor. And Battle's not prepared to take that risk. Big fly, Butler!
Massive.
Hits the ground, gives it off to Hill. Can the Saints make something of this? Owens, they've got a wide open forward 50. Sharman in good position. Himmelberg at the front did superbly. Got it to ground, wins the battle. Well played, Harry Himmelberg. In a big moment. Green out to the wing. It may come back. Stocker. High kick towards 50, and here's Himmelberg again. Owens arrives just in time. Off to Wood. He'll square it up. King's going to have a couple to beat. Can he get there? Almost. Ricocheted off the back of his hand. Smothered off the boot of Taylor. Fed back out. Still alive for the Saints. Crouch. Pinched. Daniels clears the zone. Heads for the line. And Lloyd will get a downfield free kick.
Pressing hard, the Saints, but we know the Giants are dangerous on the rebound. Toby Green signalling traffic as he glides down the Shane Warne stand wing side. A battle. Gets it out of bounds.
Well, the ball was coming in fast, and Harry Himmelberg just put his body in the right spot and won a big one-on-one. Huge contest there, and have a look at this fly from Butler. But they're getting the ball in motion more, the Saints. They're playing with speed, and as you talked about, Daisy, using Brad Hill a lot more in the general play and link up.
Well, they need some scoreboard reward for their increased effort and intensity here, the Saints. They've shifted a few things around, and we're asking a question of the Giants. As we speak, Marshall disposal number 21. It's a genuine sack of a kick. Gresham picked it up. Owens trying to fight through. He was put in a arm lock from Perryman.
This is the first time all day we've seen fluency in their ball movement, and that's why they're getting those one-on-ones ahead of the ball.
Keefe taking a stint in the ruck against Marshall. Crouch had it, but left it behind. Swooping in was Green. High kick. Kelly goes back with a flight, takes a great grab. Wrestles his way free of Wilkie. Onto that left boot. Inside 50. Green in good position. Got goal side of Sinclair.
And that came about because Callum Wilkie was forced to take and stand the mark on the Josh Kelly mark there and tried to wrestle with him a little bit to buy some time for Sinclair to scrap it. That's Wilkie on the mark. Green smart enough to get out the back of Jack Sinclair. Great play.
We saw Patrick Cripps kick a big set shot goal in the third term last night when Carlton needed it. Just to steady things down. This for the first of the third term. To push the margin back out to 27 points. It's tracking left.
Wanganeen-Milera to Bradley Hill. Another little massage kick. Finds Windhager. Back to Hill. Steers it out wide. Big one-on-one contest coming up over the top. Strong mark. Mason Wood. He's had a bit of a head clash. The speed of Wanganeen-Milera, brilliant. Spearing kick to Higgins through his hands. Sharman well tackled by Buckley. And the Giants are so organised back here in defence. Coming to Lloyd. Spears it to Daniels. Woods coming off the ground. He's looking a little worse for wear. Hogan. Wilkie defending. Well done, Cal Wilkie. Picked up by Brown. Punt road into the MCG's missed. Getting a bit of feedback from a teammate as well. As we have
like
a look.
Poke in the eye there. Accidental from Toby Green.
The old nature boy Ric Flair, thumb to the eye. Wood heads off for treatment. Filippo needs to get involved in the game. Tom Green attacks the goal face and finds Callum Brown.
It's a big contest to win on the wing there from the Giants. You just see there, they just outnumbered with purpose and then had space to work the ball back into.
Such an impressive athlete. Makes for a difficult matchup. He's such a wonderful runner. He's been number one for speed and power at GWS pretty much since he arrived. And this, for the opening goal of the third term, just settles things down nicely for the Giants. Callum Brown kicks his second. Margin back out to 29 points. GWS absorbed the early pressure from St Kilda. And kick away once again.
The big concern on the St Kilda bench is Mason Wood at the moment, but have a look at this. Just a terrific kick inside forward 50 from Tom Green. Beautiful kick to Callum Brown and a nice set shot for goal just to settle the Giants down a little bit. Mason Wood has headed down into the rooms with the doctors just to undergo a head injury assessment.
Briggs clean possession. Sends the Giants forward to centre again. The fist from Webster didn't quite clear the zone. Now it ricochets back to Tom Green. You can hear the call, touch play on. This is Stocker. Gets it to Jack Sinclair. There wasn't a lot on Aubrey. Steps around the tackler, Bedford. Kit was wanting to find Higgins, but Himmelberg, the big presence back there. Here they come again, the Giants. Lloyd. I know they have a surge mentality, GWS, but they're happy to also find targets when required. This is Whitfield. One of the great decision makers in the game, Lockie Whitfield. Steers that one to the one-on-one in the pocket. Caught, he did well. Picked up by Wilkie. Manages to wrestle it over for a boundary throw-in.
Saints need to find some connection forward of the ball. It's been a problem all year. They're last in the competition for inside 50s to scores, Job. It's where they're breaking down this afternoon.
Yeah, they just haven't been fluent in the way in which the forwards have connected to their mids and half-backs.
Bedford tracks it on the deck. Coming, tough one for him at his feet, and Sinclair takes him to the deck.
In now. High ball. Thank you. Mitch. Kieran. Straight back.
Where's the spark coming from the Saints? Owens. Filippo.
High on. Still me.
Himmelberg had a busy third term so far. Off to Kelly, who's been busy all day. Inside 50, multiple options, and Hogan takes it full-chested.
Well, they're just able to set up so well defensively behind the ball. We saw Himmelberg, not for the first time, just be able to come up to the ball, create another re-entry, and then they're just wearing down this St Kilda defence through repeat inside 50s. It's the 11th mark inside 50 for the day for the Giants forward.
Just his second final in 10 years for Jesse Hogan. Chance to kick his third of the afternoon. It's going to drop short. Wilkie couldn't hang on. Ricochets towards the pocket. O'Halloran's handball cut off. Clark, Wilkie, Sinclair going to be confronted by a couple. Just kicks it down the line to space. Gresham will track after it. Good hard running here from O'Halloran. Gets there first. Gresham stuck to the task. Taylor got involved, and now Whitfield.
Just outnumbering again, weren't they, the Giants? They just got over to that contest quicker.
Jack Buckley played every game this year, returning from an ACL injury that saw him miss all the 2022 season. They're finding targets at will. Battle with a late hit on Whitfield.
No, leave it. It's a free kick. Leave it. Lockie Whitfield, you're free. Time back on. Play on. Come on.
Lockie's decided to play on. There's some push and shove going on, and Whitfield finds Briggs. A bit of chaos going on behind him. Whitfield played it beautifully.
He's been important, Briggs. Fought back really well after Marshall had a hot start to the game. And 6 clearances of his own. No one's had more clearances than him.
4 goals for the year. Kieran Briggs, big bomb from outside 50, gave it a good ride, but's missed.
The prime movers for the Giants all getting involved. Green 25, Ace 25, Kelly 24, Whitfield 24. We see that big hit there. Just getting their hands on the ball, their prime users.
Saints living dangerously here on the edge. They trail by 30 points, and just floating in is Iden.
Stand, clear out, Brad, play on.
St Kilda unable to chain together meaningful possession.
Outside 5.
Callaghan has it 65 from goal. Giants circling once again.
Move it on, play on.
Callaghan sets it up. Hogan almost. Webster, rushed handball under pressure. Clark towards the line. Riccardi keeps it alive, gives it up to Filippo. He uses Wilkie, who just gets it out of there as quickly as he can, but it's going to come back.
On the line, foot on the line.
St Kilda up against the ropes.
Foot on the line. Stand. Swap footy. Move it on.
Buckley attacks the goal square. In from the side came Owens. And Stocker concedes.
Mason Wood. You can see some distress around the eye with accidental thumb. Not a lot of fun, that, Joe, if you've ever...
Haven't been on the receiving end of one, but don't need to be to know that it hurts.
This is Seb Ross. Ward. He might claim the mark here, Cal Ward. Is going to be paid.
Stand.
So 5:20 remaining until three-quarter time. A 31-point margin. They just have to kick the next goal, St Kilda. Under siege they are in defence here. Here's Ross. Nice little move from halfback. That kick good to Higgins. Just trying to get some of their small forwards into the game. Puts it out in front of Bradley Hill, but Buckley was all over it. There was some running handballs maybe that were on offer. That
even to look the other side, the ball's been down this line for a long period of time, so the space is on the other side. He had a teammate running forward. He just kept his focus narrow. And
good news quickly just here for St Kilda. Mason Wood coming back out on the ground at the back of this stoppage.
Thanks, Lingy. Saints trying to wriggle free here from the clutches of GWS, trying to make something happen. Whitfield was on a throw. Buckley. The answer was yes, it was, but play on the call. Away goes Bedford. He's going to try and accelerate away from Steele. He'll look inside 50. Riccardi's got the set and the mark. Frustration for Zane Cordy. Quick ball movement. He had an aggressive defensive position. Here's another look at Whitfield.
Yes, incorrect disposal for mine. But not paid, and this has been the difference between the sides all day. The ability of the Giants to be able to get speed on the ball, the opportunity that gives their forwards.
Riccardi kicks his second. Margin out to 37 points. GWS with the only 2 goals of the third term.
We just see this fast ball movement, which is what the Giants' style is, and then the space in which they have their forwards to work into. And that's been, as you touched on, Daisy, the difference is for the Saints, it's been King and Sharman who've hit the scoreboard as forwards, but for the Giants, Riccardi, Hogan, Green, Bedford, all their forwards have been able to hit the scoreboard for them.
Tom Green, number 26. Here's Daniels, picked it up beautifully. Bedford, he's capable from there, bending it and goaling. Toby Bedford's got a couple celebrations for the Giants fans. They're out to 43 points. Well, they've kicked the only 3 goals of this third term.
Tom Green, clever with his strength, just nudged Steele under the ball. He's up to 26 disposals now, having a terrific season and an outstanding final, as is Toby Bedford. What an impact he's had. Known for his pressure and the work that he does at ground level, hitting the scoreboard really well today.
So the Saints find themselves back where they were at the 20-minute mark of the second term when they kicked 4 of the next 5 goals. They've got to do it all again. Steele to Butler. High inside 50. 3 up for the Giants and Ash is down. Spirals a kick, too much on it. Wood couldn't take the grab. You wonder whether or not he's actually seeing that clearly. Hill spins it inside. Steele. Higgins back to Hill. And away comes Green, but only as far as Wanganeen-Milera. Runs him down from behind.
Good tackle. Well executed. They were away there, the Giants.
Stand. Stand.
Do the Saints have another rally in them to get the crowd going? Couple of late goals. Something to hang their hat on at 3/4 time. Wanganeen-Milera inside 50. They fly from all sides. Sharman at the back. Off to Owens. There's one. Mason Wood still clutching at that eye. Shakes his head. The ball headed in his direction. And I just don't think he could see it clearly. The way he moved, Job, he just didn't pick it up.
No, it was delayed, wasn't it, in terms of how quickly he picked it up. Saints have obviously already used their sub. Hope he's okay. They're just going to have to throw caution to the wind here. Just get the ball going. Better off losing by 10 goals and trying to win it than playing safe and conservative. Put as much pressure on as they can. Try and create as many turnovers in that forward 50.
Marshall had Sinclair in mind. Lockie Keith works hard on hands and knees. Jack still refusing to concede. Look at Whitfield come up. He's caused a lot of damage surging off half-back Lockie Whitfield. See him put himself in that quarterback position again. Whitfield is Green. Kelly's been huge. Good effort, Owens. Been rewarded for it too, Mitch Owens. It's a side full of character, St.Kilda. We've seen them pick themselves up once. Can Max King find a mark? He's got a big piece of it. It's been paid the other way. Wow.
Himmelberg clears the contest. Battle will track back. 2 minutes to play in the third. Can the Saints find another one and get it back to about 5 goals at 3/4 time?
For all the talk around the Giants' ball movement as we have a look at the Sam Taylor mark, I'd pay that man in front.
Yep.
But they've defended so well as well. Every time St Kilda's mounted a challenge, they've held up really well defensively.
Steele goes off the ground. Gresham needs support. It's Hill, cruises past, draws a man, gives it to Sharman. Inside 50, just a hand on it, affected the kick. Iden tracks it back, he's under some pressure, needs support. Whitfield's been superb, links up with Iden, streams out of the defensive 50, kicks to the middle of the ground. Hogan competes, Cordy on the deck, needs support, gets it from Steele. Now to Webster, towards half forward, Sharman in space will take it. Turns and goes, he's got Hill. Can the veteran go back? 3-time premiership player with the Hawks.
Well, they've moved him and he's had a big quarter for them. Brad Hill, 11 disposals. We know how strong a runner he is. He's just been working up the ground and then running back in, trying to lose his man as a half forward.
15th final this afternoon. So much experience on the big stage. They need him now. 48 metres out. It's straight. It's long. It's there. margin back to 31 points. Where there's life, there's hope again for St Kilda fans. 42 seconds to play in the third term.
Well, Daisy, you talked about his positional change in this third quarter. They've put him as a half forward and then just given him the licence to get as far up the ground and then run as hard as he possibly can back. It's paid fruition. He's had 11 disposals. He's kicked his second goal for the day. I feel like the Saints can mount one last challenge.
Marshall, kick ricochets back to Rowan Marshall. Full-chested at it. Brilliant performance. Can they get a late mark here? The Saints. Defensive effort. Hillberg. Sharman a chance. 27 seconds. King, was he taken high? Managed to scramble a kick out. The Giants defenders will want the boundary line here. Callahan taken by Windhager.
Just been impressed with the Giants, how quickly they get back to outnumber defensively.
Yeah, they've scrambled really well. Periods where St Kilda's been really peppering the goals.
Can they manufacture one with 18 seconds left on the clock? Marshall gets clean ball, but it's straight up and down. Marks his own kick, play on. Hill, quick hands, Windhager. Wanganeen-Milera will get a look. Pins back the ears and kicks a goal! Three-quarter time at the MCG. The Saints are still alive. The Giants by 25 points.
3 goals, and Rossi Lyon was prepared to spring the magnets.
Yeah, he did spin the magnets, certainly at half-time. They made that sub, Cabaniti off, probably pushed Sharman deeper. They sent Stocker back. Main one was Windhager, went into the midfield to go into Kelly, who absolutely ripped it apart in the first half. So he didn't have a clearance in that third quarter. And Brad Hill to half forward, which I really like, 13 disposals and kicked a goal as well. So yes, the Giants won the quarter, but St Kilda dominated both ends of the quarter. It was just Giants were able to sort of control the game in that middle part, were they, Bucks?
Battle of defences too. Both these sides have been able to stop opposition scores in the back half of this year as well. I tell you, in the first 3 quarters or so, it wasn't working from a St Kilda point of view, but they've held up all right and have been able to come again.
Well, this is the highest scoring game of the weekend so far, so it has been surprising. It's probably the best conditions, but Giants moved the ball well and have been able to score. But up until that last 5 minutes, their defence has been rock solid. Not only in their back 50, but I think their pressure and the work rate of their forwards to empty out and to support their back half's been pretty strong for the most part as well.
So, Geordie, Sam Taylor gives up 2 late goals in the second quarter. Max King free kick. Then in the early minutes of this third quarter, when they're looking for something, St Kilda, it was this by Sam Taylor again. So just gets a fits in then, and then took 3 intercept marks to take King away after he had a bit of momentum.
Yeah, he looks like a defender that gets filthy if the opponent even touches the ball, so he would have reassessed at half-time and he bounced back really well. This quarter will be a different quarter to the first 3 quarters because we've got a side that is 25 points down. They will take the game on. They will take risks through the middle of the ground. If you are the Giants, you have to be ready to come forward and then score off the back of that. Make them pay.
Led 8 times this season, the Giants at 3-quarter time. It's a pretty imposing record right there. What have they got to do, St Kilda?
Well, they only had 9 tackles that quarter, 36 the game. They're tackling at about 55%. They've been known as a high tackling side. They've got to raise the fight. Their pressure's got to go through the roof to give themselves a chance.
Any chance the Saints here to cause a big upset?
Well, they've got to start the quarter well. They haven't started the quarters well thus far in this game, but they need to get the first couple of goals on the board.
Well, on that graphic, Giants are unbeatable when they're in front of 3-quarter time, guys. Got to buck the trend.
They've had the answers. There's no tomorrow. You can't die wondering. They'll just throw caution to the wind right now. 25 points in favour of the Giants. We'll see you after the game.
Olsen pressure back on Briggs and Marshall. Put it in the direction of Sinclair. Briggs did well. First clearance to Tom Green. Dumps it as long as he can. Battle in good shape. Takes intercept mark. Just see if their risk profile's dialed up here. St Kilda. Marshall searching lead. They're going to be a bit bolder, as Cameron Ling suggested. Marshall deciding to Just trying to craft a kick through the gap, and now is a fight on. Getting back Stocker, started as the sub. Picked up by Windhager. It's going to work out okay. Back to Stocker. Sharman leading it in the race. He's kept his feet well, Cooper Sharman. Iden comes in with some leg speed. Getting back O'Halloran, and the Giants now dangerous on the rebound.
Great clean hands, O'Halloran. Handball over the top from Ward to Whitfield, being creative, but gets run down on this occasion. Saints want to move it back quickly the other way. Important ball to gather here for Steele. He's got a man forward of the football at Sharman. He can look up, draw Butler towards him.
And the ball is in motion. The game is flowing. This is only going to be work. This is only going to work for St Kilda. They're the ones that are chasing down a lead. They need speed in the game.
These are the moments that test your goal-kicking routine and your nerve. Dan Butler.
Hold here. 9. Wait for the call, wait for the call.
To get the Saints back within 19 points. Not with that. It's still alive momentarily.
Just hit the fat part of the ball, didn't he? Didn't time it sweetly at all.
Big opportunity missed. What they have to do, St Kilda, is get the Giants tight. If they land the first goal, keep mounting this challenge. That'll get them playing tight and open the door for them.
Ash goes for a run and then slides it down the line. Wanganeen-Milera with a win over Bedford. Goes short. Gresham normally sums things up well. He's going to come back to Marshall. Suppose with number 26, Rowan Marshall, overlap run from Battle. It's going to work out okay. The mark's been taken.
It's a great handball from Marshall to give. It just means that the depth in which the kick comes in changes completely. If he goes back off the mark, it's slow. The Giants can defend it, whereas he gives this handball, all of a sudden it's an extra 5 to 7 metres in front. Can be messy. They don't have a lot of time, and Higgins can take an uncontested mark.
The leading goal kicker for the year with 35 coming into the final. Higgins kicks his first. Here come the Saints. We are back to just 18 points.
Yeah, we say it, Darcy. Are they marching? Are they marching?
Margin hasn't been under 20 points since 10 minutes into the second quarter. So now it's over to the Giants. Can they keep attacking the game as has allowed them to get in front all day? Or does this just get them a bit nervous and tight?
It was the switch, but it was the handball give here. That's the important part, because the kick doesn't have to be perfect. It's messy, but it's coming from much closer to goal.
And spot on, Job, you saw, I think it was Lockie Ash out in front of Higgins there. He's out of position because that handball allows the ball to travel just that 10 metres.
Marshall against Briggs. Centre clearance is just so important. And the Giants win this one. Tom Green tumbles it inside 50, and that's why they're important. Marshall saw, Riccardi gets on the end of it. And the Giants with the chance to respond and just take a bit more of the fizz out of the game once again. They've had the answers.
Tom Green again, up to disposal number 30. 7 scoring involvements, enormous.
First final for Jake Riccardi. Third goal. Once again, the Giants have the response. Marching back out to 4 straight kicks.
Just these centre clearances are so crucial. Josh Kelly getting involved, Tom Green getting the ball forward, and then Riccardi reading it really quickly, like all good forwards do. Big, big finish on the Giants forward.
It's Jake Riccardi's role. He's just had 7 touches, but 3 super important goals and another centre clearance. Tom Green again's been huge. The Wilkie fist was timely, but it's going to come back. Daniels sends the Giants into a dangerous zone. Again, the one-hander from Battle. Beautifully done under pressure. Trying to keep this game rolling are the Saints. Wilkie. Toby kept his feet. Now he slides in to pick it up. Whitfield. Crowd out there were convinced it was out. The boundary out by Begston. Different. Riccardi gets it. Gift wrapped on the goal line. Then he can go back and kick number 4.
Come back on. Here, 1 metre back, please. Josh. Stand back here. Stand.
The umpire in the perfect position, about 2 metres away. Riccardi, this will be a body blow. He misses it.
Wow. So accurate generally. St Kilda dodge a bullet. But Callahan's going to bring it straight back inside 50.
50 metres.
Oh no, for the Saints. That is a disaster. Finn Callahan will be brought up to point-blank range. And of all the things that have been pressed about the Giants this afternoon, their ability, their resilience to respond when the Saints build a bit of momentum.
Yep.
It's been impressive.
Yeah, off the back of their clearance work. Tom Green, in particular, enormous.
Finn Callahan, another youngster playing his first final. Makes no mistake. And just like that, they've got breathing room again at 31 points. The resolve in this GWS lineup this afternoon has been tested on multiple occasions, and they keep coming up with the answers.
Well, only Adelaide at Adelaide Oval has hit the 100 mark against the Saints, has been their stingy defence, but the Giants have been able to crack it today, and a lot of the damage has been done out of the middle of the ground. 8 goals, 5 from stoppages. The Giants themselves only average 32 points a game normally from clearance, but domination out of the middle of the ground today.
Done again by Briggs. He's fought hard in that important battle in the centre. Surge footy. This is their trademark, the Giants. They do everything they can to keep just shoveling the ball forward. Sinclair. Cooper Sharman's had some impressive moments.
Stand. 50 metres.
50 the other way against Lockie Ash. Refusing to give up St Kilda. They've looked down and out a couple of times, but they keep fighting on.
Out, around, had to go out. No, had to keep going out. So here, Brent, 2 metres back.
So just to keep the door ajar here, Cooper Sharman. Game number 31. Stabs at that one slightly. It wasn't really well connected with. Max King juggles the mark, but can't complete it.
5 straight goals the margin. Plenty of time, but Saints need to make their move again. Have they got one more rally in them? GWS did such a great job at taking the fizz out of the game in the 3rd quarter for most of the term before the Saints wriggled free late. They've got to make their move early now. Battle. Wanganeen-Milera. Takes the weight off the kick. It was clever to Owens. Himmelberg got there just in time to force a contest. Ross, only as far as Perryman. Searching handball. Callahan. Iden to the wing. Battle gets to the front. Can he use the support? He can. Ross, Sinclair, Steele, Filippo. Steps around Perryman. Hoists it high. King's going to have to go. Taylor over the top. Spectacular. Didn't quite. It pings around. Lots of orange jumpers around it. Taylor towards Brown. Fisted on. Green time to look up. Ross tries to close him down. Green tries to sell the dummy. Gets free with strength. Daniels. Toby Green. Will he take on Cordy? Well done, Cordy. Takes him down. Forces the release. Webster. Sinclair. And maybe now through Wanganeen-Milera.
Eyes the leader, Sharman. Takes it on the bounce, and then the quick kick through the corridors. The only way to go. They've got all on his own out there. Mason Wood on the outer side. The kick from Steele's good. King provides a lead-up target. Wood's going to go longer, I think, to Higgins. He's got to contend with Himmelberg. It's a bit of a mismatch with height. The fist from Himmelberg was good, but King trying to back his way in has thrown it.
GWS. Sam Taylor.
And that just takes the pressure right off all of a sudden. The Giants.
Back on, stand.
That forward 50 entry has been the problem for the Saints the whole day. Is just that connection between the midfielders, the halfbackers, and their forwards. There was plenty of space for the forwards to work into to make it an easier kick for Mason Wood.
And he chose Himmelberg versus Higgins. Himmelberg always with the size advantage. Ball spills out of the pack. Maybe a chance here for Crouch. Bounces it down the line. Wood, Iden happily watches it trickle out. You can see that right eye of Mason Wood still giving him grief. Trying to fight through it. But clearly hampering him. It was that ball that went to him in the third turn that I just don't think he picked up. Keefe and Owens.
Yours.
Daniels at the back. Will get over the back. Hogan. Time. Too much time. Skill error. Throw in.
So just down here on the Giants bench, just some conversations starting to take place amongst Adam Kingsley and his team about the substitution. They've got Nick Haynes up their sleeve as the sub. We know that Sam Taylor has missed 8 games this year with hamstring injuries. Do they get to that point pretty soon where they think they've got the game in control and they can get Sam Taylor off and not risk him anymore, bring Nick Haynes on in that defensive role? Or still worried about the Saints' ability to score those goals in quick succession?
Got some genuine depth, the Giants, haven't they? We think Steve Coniglio was a laid out for this game. Nick Haynes has been a wonderful player for many years. Can't force his way into the starting lineup. Hunter Clark gets it to Bradley Hill. Back to Hunter Clark. Finds Battle. Steers a short one to Filippo. Handed it off immediately, but Hill ran into some trouble. Cleverly done, Hill. Nicely taken, Sinclair. The lead-up target was Wood. Buckley, brilliant defensively. He and Taylor are a wonderful combination in defence as the mark's been taken by Hunter Clark. And the Saints will go forward again.
Good hands. That had a lot on it. Could have easily got over the back. Steele. Wanganeen-Milera. Can he find someone inside 50? Over the head of Marshall and onto the chest of Buckley.
Stand.
Now Taylor.
Stand.
GWS in complete control of the tempo from here. Sitting on a 5-goal lead with 10.5 to play. Riccardi at the front. Spoil came from Cordy and Lloyd happy to see it out. Approaching the midway point of the final term. 2-1 in favour of GWS in this last quarter. Steele dragged off the kick. Past Hill. Taken by Callahan. Now Daniels will go long. Can Battle get back there? Riccardi's got the sit. Front on contact. And Jake Riccardi has been impressive in his first final.
It's just been the difference between the two teams is the ability of the Giants forwards to take those marks and convert. The Saints forwards just haven't been as potent. 16 to 6 marks inside 50s for the Giants' favour.
So Joe flew under the radar in 2019 with Werribee, centre half forward. Got picked up by the Giants, signed a new 3-year deal in August. And he misses again, pushes it across the face. It's a 6-score game.
Joe, just glance ahead for a moment. Sorry, Ling, he'll come down to you.
The substitution's been made for the Giants. Nick Haynes has just come onto the ground. It wasn't Sam Taylor, as I suspected it might have been with those hammy worries as Giants get another intercept mark.
Isaac coming at his Lingy, who's going to take a little seat.
You're right, Das.
Saints tracking the Shane Warne stand side wing as Higgins dives in.
Play on.
Still working overtime, St Kilda. 9 minutes remaining in this final. 31 points the margin, and Iden gets back and takes a really good defensive mark. Joe, let me ask you this. The Giants have won 9 of 11 coming in to this final. Their form here is great. Are they a side that could do some damage going forward into the finals?
Oh, absolutely. I think the way in which they play, they defend, and they can play one-on-one if they need to. They've got a really balanced side.
Josh Battle straining so hard in this final term to try and give his team some launch from the back.
Daisy touched on the second team to score 100 points against St Kilda, so they've got that potency as well.
Defensively, they've stood up again this afternoon. Just one more inside 50 for GWS, and they've kicked 5 more goals. Just speaks to their efficiency.
Well, they're pretty sound all across the ground, really well set defensively.
Play on.
Talented midfield. Plenty of threats up forward, and role players like Bedford as well.
Callahan intercepted. Haynes, Bedford, traffic just flows on past him. Josh Kelly, been outstanding. Inside 50 once again, off the hands of Hogan. Toby Green to Bedford, bends it across a little too much, it's still alive. Wanganeen-Milera has been impressive. Off to Hill. Saints have just got to go now at every opportunity. Can they find some connection? They cannot. Going back with courage and earning a free kick in the process is Harry Himmelberg.
He's been really good as well today, Harry Himmelberg. He's had a lot of teammates who have been the same, but just incredibly impressed with the back six of the Giants.
And they've won it. This will be the 11th venue they've won at all year. So they are a side that won't fear going to Adelaide Oval or the Gabba, depending on what happens tonight.
Play on.
Looks to be a really settled team. The Giants, their defensive six has just been rock solid across this back half of the year as Battle takes another good mark. He got a 50-metre penalty.
They haven't relied on clearances all year. Number 11 in the comp for clearance, 12th for points from clearances. Today they've put on an absolute clinic, and they're going to come up against stronger midfields than this, but if that midfield group can really get rolling, that'll be a bonus.
When the ruckman has 8 clearances himself, you know that he's buying in. He's been fantastic against a really high-quality ruckman for St Kilda.
It's a fantastic crowd, isn't it? 68,000 plus here at the MCG on the back of 92,000 last night. Collingwood Army were greater than 90,000 on Thursday night. What a start to September. And it continues up at the Gabba tonight with a sellout there. Can't wait for that one. Callahan, like a slips catch, diving on his knees.
Again, they spread. Haynes has got Iden pushing forward from the back. Will take it on the bounce, can pop it over the top. Brown looks to bend it back towards the pocket.
The interesting thing about this Giants midfield, with Taranto and Hopper going out of the side at the end of last year, it's been a smaller group that's had to get the job done in there all year. Tom Green has stepped up. I mean, he was developing rapidly as it is, but Cornelio's had one of his better seasons in a number of years. Josh Kelly outstanding today. A smaller group taking responsibility under Adam Kingsley with the departures of those other star midfielders.
It accelerates some of the youth that they've got into the team, gives them more opportunities.
Steele through the middle. Stocker launches it long. King at the back takes a wonderful mark. Hurt himself upon landing. Kick 2 in that second term as the Saints were rallying. Prodigious talent.
It's a big contested mark. We'll just have a look at this. The 9th as opposed to the 16 from the Giants. Inside forward 50.
For his 3rd goal this afternoon, Max King. Pulls one back for the Saints. Margin back to 25 points, with just over 5.5 to play. So the 5th largest crowd in GWS history, the largest that doesn't involve a game against Richmond or Collingwood. As you mentioned, 68,500, a great turnout.
There's the official attendance there. This is the 6th finals campaign the Giants have been in 8 seasons. They go on to win today. They've won a game in every final series. It's a fantastic record. If Sam Taylor gets back, great to see him out there, one of the best defenders in the competition. Seb Ross, the Saints have lost no friends at all in their effort and their work rate. They've just been outpointed here this afternoon. Himmelberg's been big over the top. They're letting it play out.
No, they certainly haven't. They've had tremendous endeavour all year, Saints. They will just continue to build this chemistry, particularly in their forward half, to become more potent.
Tom Green, disposal number 35. Cal Ward won the first best and fairest of the GWS Giants, kicked the first ever goal for GWS. Great to see him part of another finals campaign. Is it just me, Daisy, or has that rule just been dialed back a touch in the finals?
Possibly.
Done an incredible job, Adam Kingsley, as a first-year coach.
Saying to his team, 5 more minutes. Just give me 5 more. Daniel scrapping on the bottom of that pack. Marshall did well. Managed to feed it out to Ross, and now Webster. Another high ball inside 50. Sharman went up with one hand. Buckley on the deck, controlled it really well and got it off to Whitfield, who's just been such an important link man this afternoon. Dribbles a kick towards Battle. Crouch under pressure from Whitfield, who followed up. Wilkie. Battle again. Gets rid of Bedford. Looks inside, finds Hunter Clark. He can now go to Crouch. Crouch can deliver it inside 50. Coming out on the lead is Sharman. Taylor at the front stood tall. Haynes, clever slap. Smothered off the boot of Ash. Whitfield versus Hill. Both go to ground. Taylor involved again. Pops a handball to O'Halloran. He's wrestled over the line.
Just on Adam Kingsley and the influence that he's had this year, you can see his blueprint on the way and the style in which they play. You could replace Whitfield and Ash. That could easily be Vlosten or Hooley from his time with the Richmond side. We see Stephen Caniglio up. Hopefully he's an inclusion for this Giants team next week.
The update on him was accidental eye contact at training, and that they felt they couldn't risk him for today, but sounds like on that basis he'll be available next final.
Yeah, apparently a bit of blurred vision is still persisting today, so they chose to leave him out. Yeah, big inclusion for next week, you'd think.
So Ben Hart, part of the coaching staff there for the Giants, one of the all-time great Adelaide Crows. As Briggs has been impressive, Job. He's fought hard, isn't he?
He's been fantastic.
Hogan juggled the attempt. Here's Toby Green. Certainly had his influence on the game. Bedford been impressed with his effort as well. Back, the handball comes to Seb Ross. 3 minutes remaining in the final. Kick looking for Filippo. Buckley. Here's Nick Haynes guiding it forward. And that one is going to be paid.
Aggressive kick. Off the contest. Past Buckley. Crouch. Filippo popped a handball looking for Gresham. Intercepted by Green. His kick pitches right on the line.
What a massive week for Toby Bedford, and he's been able to step up today and perform off the back of all the uncertainty through the week. His reaction as the verdict was handed down was priceless, as is the case with legal speak. He had no idea whether that many was in or out, but stood up and was absolutely pumped and relieved to hear that he'd gotten off.
15 possessions, 2-2 for Toby Bedford as Sinclair streams through. Bounce beats the contest. Sharman would slap it to the voice of Higgins. He's got King at 50, goes a little shorter than that, and Crouch hangs on.
Play on.
Gresham, not much to kick to. Steele. Now Sinclair can wind up from 45. Right to the line, and it's 3-on-1 and ushered through.
37 disposals for Jack's, or 38 now for Steele. He's battled honestly.
Just you touched on earlier, I just feel like they've gotten more for their clearances, the Giants. They've been able to score off the back of them as opposed to the Saints.
The raw numbers don't really tell the story, do they? +3 to the Giants, but it's the ability to link up and get out the front and do damage that's been the difference.
Super positive here when you look at Mitch Owen's footy in hand, and Phillippo is a first-year player. Max King had so many weeks out with a shoulder issue, missed the first 10, and then looked like his season was over a second time. There's a lot of upside in this St Kilda team for mine and what they're trying to build.
And the consistency of their year, you touched on, they were never out of the 8. It's a big achievement for a side with a new coach.
Where does their improvement come from? It's hard to not think they need someone to really bob up and develop as that supporting role for Max King. We've seen that exposed today. No memory, of course, but that's a big area of improvement over the off-season.
Yeah. Green, take it to the line. Certainly got some prodigious talent in that front half with the likes of Owens and Caminiti and Sharman and Phillippo.
It's coming, isn't it?
Just going to take a bit of time.
Yeah.
Clark dives on the football, a couple of players down late, and why not? It's Marshall and Briggs who have just battled tirelessly all afternoon. Ash been everywhere, 29th touch for him, 36 for Tom Green, 31 Whitfield, 28 Ash, 27 Kelly. That's been the foundation. Webster over the top, Clark, Wilkie, Gresham, Hill, Wanganeen-Milera confronted by Bedford as a bit of a scuffle breaks out off the ball between Green and Marshall. That breaks up with no harm done. 30 seconds to play. Bedford to Buckley. And they'll just share it around here. Chew through these last 30. Take no risks. Ash.
Move it on, play on.
And the Giants see off the Saints. GWS survived the elimination final and progressed to visit the loser of Brisbane and Port Adelaide in a sudden death semi next week.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking, the other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
GWS through to the semi-final. They led at every change. 18 points, 23 points, 25 points, and they run out 24-point winners. They shopped early, Lingy got an advantage and responded as the Saints rallied on multiple occasions.
Yeah, they certainly did, Jason. They were led by this man, Tom Green. Tommy, that was hard work, but no doubt a lot of fun playing in front of such a big crowd.
Yeah, it's nice. Like I said sort of pre-game, it's what you dream of as a kid, and it was unreal. It was a slog for a little while, but it was nice to get over the line now.
They kept throwing things as you get a bit of a pump up from the teammates. They kept throwing things at you, though, didn't they? They were scoring goals in little chunks.
Yeah, and they're a fantastic team. They've had a great year, and they're a little bit like us, sort of underrated, I think, throughout the whole year. So they're a fantastic team, and I'm sure they'll go again next year.
You're through to a semi-final. At round 10, you were 3-7. It's been a big turnaround.
It has. I think we all thought we had real belief, though, that if we could get it right, we'd be okay. And I suppose our back half showed that. And it's nice to be here having won a final, and we'll go and see how we go next week.
Put your feet up and watch the game tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It should be a ripping contest.
Well done today. Great job.